Here's an overview of the project, and I'm starting from the finished point. I installed a GFCI protector here, which protects this outlet that runs a dishwasher, and then one here at the countertop, standard outlet. So I marked that at 43 inches. Here's the box I'll be using. It has these flip outs that snug up to the wall and hold it in place. What I did is I lined it up with the 2x4, outlined it. I'll cut that out. The only difference is I'm going to get another box that's super deep because the dishwasher requires ground fault circuitry. Yes. And then you just turn these screws clockwise and it flips them things up and pulls it tight. We got a GFCI outlet, and I'll explain how it works and then show how to wire it. So when this trips, it drops power to these terminals. These terminals are the power coming in from your breaker box and then goes through here and feeds outlets. You can have multiple outlets. There's a connection for 2 outlets. Plus you can go downstream with other outlets. So this says line in, which simply means power from the circuit breaker to here. This side is the load going out to your receptacles, meaning however much load an appliance is using. So the appliance puts load on these terminals. There's several options to this unit. Let's say you want a downstream outlet that does not lose power when this trips. Then you connect to here, which is on the line side. So it becomes load. So you got power coming in and then power feeding that outlet. That trips, you won't lose power on the other outlet. So we will be using the load side. We have 2 outlets we want protected. Remove this strip, which has instructions on it, and that reveals your connections. Then I got a fancy ground connector, a hole in it, show you how that works. So here's the longer version of this style box, and whenever I have more than 2 wires, plus a GFCI, ground fault circuit interrupter, it's much easier to install with the extra space. So both wires are coming up from the bottom, so we use the 2 bottom slots. And I find it easiest to bring the wires through here first, then into the box, then into the wall. I'm going to try and pull both wires through as I go back. That's plenty of wire, and you want to leave a little extra in behind it. So you get the box flush against the wall, make sure that screws all the way in, and then slowly spin it. Until it snugs up. Very nice. Don't over snug it because you risk cracking the drywall. I've missed another base. I forgot the 3rd wire that feeds that outlet. So let me get that installed. We'll start back. 3rd wire, 12 gauge, 12, 12. Now we'll do some stripping. This is a pretty cool tool. It's got a little cutter on the inside there. Fit it over and you just press it and pull, and since it's already snug, you just pull against it. And it doesn't damage any wires, ever. The little blade thingy gets in between the wires and strips very nicely. You just peel everything back, snip, strip. Here's a peek inside the box. You can see the wire with the sheathing on it, laid flat against the back of the box. That ensures it stays in the slot, and if you run into trouble later and need extra wire, you'll have it. use a piece of scrap drywall for the spacing. Strip, snip, strip, curl, I'll put the ground and the silver on first. Silver goes to white, gold goes to black. I'm using the Klein multi-driver. That's got a special head. It's Phillips and flat and Robinson mixed. It does the best for gripping. I put my ground down. You can do yours however you like. And then you do the accordion style. You just fold up like this. Screws are nice and long, get them started. Both started first. Here's the individual wires coming into the box, already stripped. This is this wire right here, which goes to an outlet in that direction. This one is the power coming in from the breaker panel, and this wire goes down to that outlet. First thing we want to do is tie the grounds together. So I'm going to tie this ground to this one. Cut it the same length. And then leave this one long. And that's where your ground connector slides right over that hole. Over top of the other wires. And wire nut everything together. You want to do a pull test to make sure each wire is held in place, which it is. Also, if you twist your wires like that, that's like a double connection. And then this one goes to the GFCI. Put a little hook on there. Go around your ground lug and close the gap. So that thing's fully closed around that screw. You can't get that off even though the screw's loose. Then tighten your screw. First connection complete. I left this one long for demonstration. You don't want a hot wire sticking out like that. That's exaggerated. Let's say this was the hot. You want it like that, where no bare metal is showing, so it has no chance of hitting other wires, or if you have a metal box. Black goes to the gold terminal. This is the line side. And this is power coming from the breaker. That's why we checked it earlier to know which one was hot. And then here's your neutral wire from the breaker panel. It comes with this group. I'll put that on later since it's in this orientation. Take any black wire now that goes to any outlet and go to your gold connection. One there, other outlet there, right next to it. Pushed all the way in, tighten down. Now we're ready for the white connection. Best way is just roll it. And then they're all exposed. So now that we rolled it, we're upside down, which means the one from the breaker panel goes to the line connection, all the way in, tighten down. Then the load side, doesn't matter which connection, tighten down. So I have a lot of excess wire here. And this is where we do the accordion. And this big thick ground wire is important to get a nice kink on that, to get it to bend back as you go in. All right, I'll turn the power on. Very nice. Those two lights mean the polarity's correct. All the wiring's hooked up correctly. All the instructions are right on there. Trip it. Nice. Beautiful. Nice. This ground fault protector was originally in there, but now I have the new one down there protecting this one. You just need a standard outlet. You always want to check your work. This lamp is plugged in the dishwasher outlet. That fluorescent light is in that standard outlet. So it's working correctly. Another thing I'd like to point out, code does not specify how many outlets you can have protected by one unit. In other words, you could have an outlet here, here, there, and one downstream somewhere else, and then tie to the other leg and have one protected in a different direction. However, I wouldn't go over 5 receptacles on one unit due to load surge. Alright, so I got the dishwasher. I'd like to thank everyone for watching. Hope this has helped someone. And if you'd like to watch the full install of the dishwasher, I'll provide a link